Okay, before we begin this review, I just want to deeply apologize for not reviewing Iron Lung at the end of January. I know I said I was going to, but I just didn't have the time to do so you're gonna have to wait until my 2026 movies ranking. So sorry about that. Anyway, back onto the subject. Hoppers, the newest film from Pixar. I knew this film was coming out. I even referenced it in my 2025 movies ranking. My exact quote was,
I hope Pixar's Hoppers and Disney's Hex all turn out good. Hoppers is coming from the creator of We Bare Bears, which is a good show.
Yep, that's right. I went to the theater and saw...
Lizard.
I said, I went to the theater and saw...
Lizard.
Hoppers! I went and saw Hoppers in theaters! Was that annoying. Anyway, I went into this movie with basically no expectations. But if Zootopia 2 has taught me anything, it's to never look at the reviews from the critics or the audiences. So I did just that. So what did I think about this new Pixar original? Well, it's no secret that Pixar has not been on a pretty good trajectory as of lately. I still have yet to see Elio, and we all know that outside of Inside Out 2, Pixar has not made a successful movie, let alone successful original, in quite some time. But hear me out, guys. We finally have one. Now, with that said, it's not a masterpiece, but it's definitely a great movie, and a good original, and wait, didn't I say that for Zootopia 2? It's a nice return to form for Pixar. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. A lot of movies start out slow in the beginning, and this movie is no exception. The first 10 minutes were not only sluggish, but also confusing. After that, the movie goes from being average to being a slightly enjoyable flick. As for the story, I heard many people say that it's Avatar mixed with Over the Hedge, and yeah, I can see that. Oh, and that Avatar joke that was used in the teaser trailer is still in the movie, and nobody in my theater laughed. So yeah, a pretty weak and slightly cookie-cutter story, but there was an environmental message that was actually surprising. It's not as impactful as other movies like WALL-E or The Lorax, but it serves its purpose, even with the story, and I love how the theme of nature comes into play with our main protagonist, especially through her struggles and weaknesses. This movie isn't afraid to use silence to convey emotion and tension. There's a scene later in the movie that struck me and made me think, now this is what Pixar was missing all these years. Stories that have resonated with us and have always made us think that animation is a wonderful medium and not just a genre for kids. As for the characters, they're pretty charming. Mabel starts out as the typical rebellious teenager, but as the film goes on, she really helps convey the importance of nature to everyone who doubted her. I was fully convinced that the mayor was gonna be the main villain of the movie, especially since he's voiced by Sentinel Prime. He's your typical self-absorbed asshole who's always full of himself and cares about nobody else other than his highways, but his character development went in a direction that I didn't expect. The three scientists are okay. They don't really do that much in the movie other than to try and bring Mabel back to her body. George is a flawed but charming king with a lot of heart. And the villain, who I wouldn't really call a twist villain, but he is a villain that I did not see coming from a mile away. God, I miss when Disney and Pixar used to do this. Oh, and you better believe that lizard, who by the way is named Tom, was by far my favorite character of the movie. I don't know, there's just something about this goofy looking lizard that always brings a smile to my face. The way Pixar marketed this little guy was genius. Going into this film, I thought the humor was going to ruin the movie for me, but it actually enhanced it. I don't think I've laughed this hard at a Pixar movie in a while. Now, this isn't funny as Golden Age Pixar. Not every joke lands, but when they do, they really stick the landing. And the animation is really interesting. I love the contrast between the beady eyes on the animals from the human's perspective and the more personified eyes from the animal's perspective. You can tell Daniel Chong brought that We Bare Bears energy to the animation, and there are a few surprise cameos that briefly appear on screen. Just don't blink, or you'll miss them. I can see why so many people drew connections to Over the Hedge, because the third act of this movie is batshit insane. There's just something about the action of the third act that had me floored, and made me forget I was watching a Pixar movie. Overall, if we could get more movies like this from Pixar, then I'm certainly down. Like I said, this isn't a masterpiece or anything that's gonna change your life, but it will bring a smile to your face, and I think you're gonna have a great time with that. I think I'm gonna give Hoppers a nice solid 8 out of 10. Like I said, in terms of a movie about saving the environment, it isn't as impactful as something like The Wild Robot. It's certainly not Pixar's next magnum opus, but given their track record from the past few years, this is certainly a step in the right direction. Thank you and good night.